Hi, everyone. Welcome to our next session. I am so excited to welcome BandLab for the first time to Measure of Music. I've known of this platform for some time now, and I've always thought it was really interesting all the different offerings they have for artists. And so I knew I wanted to bring them along to Measure of Music Year 4. So I'm really excited to have them join us. Also thrilled that they decided to come on as a sponsor as well. And so without further ado, I would love to bring Kevin to the stage to talk about BandLab.
Hey there, how are you doing? I'm Kevin. Oh, there's my slides. Yes, there. I'm the head of artist development and education at BandLab, and today we're going to be talking about artist and audience development with BandLab. Um, First, let me get the slides going. First, a little bit about me. I'm a guitar player, a singer, or not a singer, songwriter. I'm a songwriter. I played a band called Small Town Poets. I'm actually in Atlanta right now, and the rest of the guys are downstairs recording our next record as we speak. I just took a little break to come up here and be with you. Um, my main artist journey has been with this band, Small Town Poets. We were nominated for Grammy. We were signed to a major label way back in the day, and we did pretty well. We sold about 300,000 copies of our first two albums combined, had some number one songs and all that. And as the way most things go, we ended up moving on from the label world and have found a nice, robust musical journey in the indie space where I've been for a long time. And I've had a few other artist projects as well um, in the Portland, Oregon area where I call home. And we've had placements on uh, movies and TV and film and such like that. And on my industry side, my day job side of what I do, I've been in the music distribution space for many years before working at BandLab. Helped build the DIY musician podcast, blog, and that brand you may have seen. I do a lot of artist marketing and marketing in general, and am happy to be at BandLab now as the head of artist development education. I am having such an amazing time working with the BandLab platform, just improving my skills and unlocking what it can do for me as an artist. So I'm so excited to share with all of you how this platform can really help you grow yourself as an artist and build your audience and use the tools to reach further with your music. If you're not familiar with BandLab, our vision is a future where there are no boundaries to making and sharing music. If you're not familiar with the platform at all, you can use it in your browser. You can use it in your browser, or there's an app that you can download. So if you don't have the app while we're talking, you can start downloading it on your phone and get it there. But at face value, you might think it's just a recording platform, but there's so much more to it, and that we're going to dive into today. That's really a social, collaborative music promotion, really just everything in one tool to help you make, create, and get your music out to the world. And one of the things that's very important as artists to understand is just like how much music creation has changed and how artists are making music. The tools are more accessible than ever. Anyone can use BandLab. It's free. It's free to download. It's free to start recording. You can start making a song right after this presentation on the platform for free. Uh, the tools are more collaborative than ever. And that's one of the things I love about BandLab. It makes it so easy for you to collaborate with other artists, musicians, and producers. And that's become a real critical element for artists to grow their skills, reach new fan bases, and go beyond what we thought was ever possible with these tools online. Um, you can one of my favorite things is you can produce great sounding music without having to be an engineer. I've been playing music for many years, and I know enough to record nice guitar tracks, but I've never spent the time to really go down that engineering path. But with BandLab, it's you can really quickly, without having all those engineering skills, you can really make great sounding music just by the tools and the things that are there for you that are so simple to use. Another key thing that's really important to understand is how fans interact with music has changed. And there's the artist side of the equation, and then there's the fan side of the equation. A lot of times, when the music industry is talking about how things are changing and moving, sometimes we as artists forget that what the fans want to do is critical and important to having success as well. Um, Fans want creative options, stems, instrumentals. Uh, I can't see you, but I would have you raise your hand if you've ever released a sped up version of your song. Those are all over TikTok these days. Um, they allow fans to express themselves creatively, and it's important that you start thinking about that. Okay, it's not just about releasing a track and say, "Hey, new music, go listen to it." It's about releasing an experience that people can listen to it, but then they can go add it to their video. They can do lots of things. They can make their own version of your song. They can take the stems and make a new work out of it. Lots of things that they can do that fans are sort of expecting is a part of the process these days. Um, Along those lines is like artists thinking strategically about how you can incentivize your fans or bring them along for the ride so they want to do these things, which and then spreads your music and makes it go a whole lot further. You've seen, I'm sure, plenty of artists on social media that have done an amazing job with this, where it's like, man, how did that artist get their fans to just go so crazy, making so much content and using their music in so many videos, and it's just driving so much reach for them. How can I do that? That's one of those things that's very important to think about as you're approaching the market these days, because that's very powerful. If you can unlock those fans and unlock activities by the people who want to engage with your music, it makes a big difference. And just really thinking about how fans are active participants. They are a part of your community. They are the people that it's not a passive experience. I've been hearing the term a lot lately, the idea of active releases versus passive releases, and how the music business traditionally has always thought about releasing music and a music release as a passive experience, meaning I put the music on, I sit there and listen to it however I listen to music. But now thinking more interactive with the fans, and that it's an active experience for them. They get the music, they listen to it, and then they want to do something with it. And really thinking about that as you engage with fan bases and think about releasing your music. So I want to talk about two main things as it relates to BandLab. One, first off, artist development, and then we'll talk about building an audience. And those are the two things we'll dive into. Artist development is one of those things that, if you've been in the music space for a long time, you've probably heard the term used in a whole bunch of various different ways. Sometimes I think it's confusing how it gets used. In the old school industry, there was a, and this role still exists, but somebody that was a head of A&R. You might have heard that term, artist and repertoire, and this person's job was really to help develop the artist on their label. And while that role may still exist, there's not a lot of artist development that happens from the industry these days. It seems like they snag a high performing song off TikTok and throw it out there. And then if it works, great. If not, they move on to the next artist. But I think this is one of those things that's critical for artists to really understand and have an idea of how they are continuing to develop themselves on their own artist journey. And I've got four key points here on what I think is most important. First, um, pushing yourself creatively. For me, I've been playing guitar for a long time, and I started 2024 thinking, man, I want to feel like I'm growing a lot in 2024 musically, both as my skills as a guitar player, my skills as a songwriter, and push myself to do things I've never done before. I am not a singer, but I started 2024 saying, I want to sing. I want to learn to sing. The band I'm in, if you listen to any of our tracks, there's lots of vocals. It's a five-piece band. Four of the other guys sing. And it's like, they really don't need me to try to sing or do anything. It's not necessary. So I just haven't felt the need. But I thought 2024, I'm going to push myself creatively and I want to see growth because as a musician, for me, this is a lifelong journey. I'm going to be doing this until I die, and I want to keep getting better and better and better. Um, and so we'll have a little sneak peek of what I've been working on coming up in a minute. Another thing is connecting with other musicians. I think a lot of times in the artist community, we see other artists around us as competition, especially in maybe your local scene. It's like, hey, they're going to get the gig that I want. And it's easy, really, to like sort of be standoffish with other musicians and not really build that community. But it's something that's so critical for your growth as an artist to work with other musicians and build that knowledge and network and understanding. One of the things that I love about the BandLab platform that we'll highlight in a bit is just the collaboration features that just make it so easy for you to collaborate with other artists, and that being critical to help you grow and reach audiences. And we'll dive into how that works in a bit. Um, the other thing is being really intentional with your artistic vision. I find a lot of artists, they kind of stagnate. They reach a point in their career where they're not growing anymore. Maybe, they've had some success, or they feel like they're kind of just hitting a wall, not really seeing that growth they want to see. But just getting really intentional about what you want to accomplish, what your vision of yourself as an artist looks like, and really pushing yourself in those ways. And the last point up here, um, is building a catalog of music. Um, One of the top questions I get from artists is, how can I make money from my music? And usually it's an artist that's just dropped their first track or a couple tracks. And as I mentioned at the top, I have a long history. I worked at CD Baby for many, many years. I have a long history in music distribution. So I saw so many storylines of artists, independent artists that were seeing success, building a full-time career, making money from their music. And one of the things they almost all had in common is that they had built a nice large catalog of music. So the more music you have out there, the more ability your fans have to listen to it, to stream it, to maybe buy downloads from your website or vinyl if you have it. And every time you release more music, your fans have a tendency to go back and listen to your past music. So if you only have one or two tracks, that's going to be hard to do. It's going to be hard for them to go back and listen to that one song over and over again. They may love you, but they can only listen to that one track so many times. So building a catalog of music, I think, is so critical, and it also drives that growth. The more you write, the more you record, the more you develop your craft, the more you'll feel that growth as an artist. So here's my little case study of what I did using BandLab. And warning, you're going to hear me sing in a minute. Thankfully, BandLab has a very nice auto tune tool. But I had a goal. I wanted to improve my songwriting abilities in unfamiliar genres. So the band I'm in, Small Town Poets, and all the music I tend to write, it tends to be in the alternative rock vein. I'm a guitar player. Um, so I wanted to push myself, and I thought, I want to write a pop song. I've got two daughters. One's about to turn 14, the other one's 17. They're listening to tons of music, from pop, rock, to old music, to new music. And so I've been listening to a lot of pop music with them, and I thought, I'm going to write a pop song. And so I thought, I'm going to use BandLab Song Starter tool. So inside BandLab, there's a tool called Song Starter. It's AI music idea generator. So you open it up, you hit Song Starter, and you select a style of music, and it'll throw out a beat, a bass line, a chord progression, and a little melody hook, like a little instrument hook. And so I took that and I thought, I'm going to write a pop song in an hour. And And this tool is amazing because you pull it up and it's like you can change the vibe. You can say, no, I don't like this. You can hit the button, it'll pull up a whole new song for you, and you can keep changing the vibes. And then if you like it, you can sorry, it keeps changing my slides before I push next. If you like it, it will you can push a button and pull it into the BandLab studio and start making your song on top of it. So that's what I did. And I thought, I'm going to do this. I'm going to write a song in an hour. And let's see. I did it. I thought the next one was where it was going to play. It's the slide after this where you get to hear me sing. I created this brand new song, and so a couple things happened. One, I felt incredibly empowered as an artist. I felt like I accomplished something. I pushed myself, and you know how it feels when you push yourself. You hit a goal. You do something you didn't think you could do that you didn't have in you. You just feel super excited. I spent the whole rest of the day just writing and recording music because it just got me in that zone of just being so excited, and just the ideas just started coming out. I felt like I was growing as an artist. And as an artist, that's how I always want to feel. I want to feel like I'm growing, I'm getting better, my skills are expanding. And like it says on the screen, the feeling of I can do this. You know, when you have one of those aha moments where you have all this self-doubt, you think, I can't do that, or I'm not good enough, but then you do it and you're like, I can do this. Why did I think I couldn't do this? I can do it. And probably the best compliment I got was my daughters told me, "Hey, Dad, this is way better than half the stuff out there." And I thought, okay, I beat half the stuff that's out there. So that was a huge compliment. And what really that comment, why I put it on screen, I think what was the most amazing thing is this bonding experience I had with my daughters, where their friends happened to be over at their house that day, and I found them down in my studio later that afternoon, all of them on instruments, jamming, trying to write a song, and they're like, "We're in a band now," and I'm like, "This is the best. This is what I love about music. This is what I love about using the BandLab app, is that it makes it easy to create, it makes it fun and inspiring, and it brings that joy of music creation. And for me, that's a big part of it. I really, really love this tool. And I think as an artist, doing these kind of things, pushing yourself, especially out of genres that you're not necessarily familiar with, because that's a key thing in continuing to grow your skills. I was talking to an artist the other day, and I was talking about, like, the difference between someone who might be starting out, or somebody who has lots of experience, is that you might be put in a situation where you're required to play music that's you're not really used to. It's outside of your comfort zone. And the more you've experienced that, the more you can jump in and feel confidence to move into new areas, play for new people, collaborate with other people without feeling like, that you don't know what you're doing. And this tool's amazing. I've been using it a lot. So highly recommend checking out Song Starter. And I just dropped the link in the chat, so you can check out the song. I apologize that the video didn't play in the slides here, but moving on. And I should say at the end we'll have time for some Q&A. I see the comments and such rolling by, but at the end we'll get to some questions. I want to give you a tour of the BandLab creator tools and some of the highlights in there that you should definitely check out when you get the app or on your browser. First up, BandLab sounds. I was thinking the other day, when I first started, like, really writing and recording and doing a bunch on my own outside of my band experience with Small Town Poets, I was spending so much money buying loops and samples and things like that. It's all in BandLab for free, and the sounds are amazing. And one of the things I think that's worth highlighting is that this is a great way for you to grow as an artist, not only to visualize a musical vision that maybe you probably couldn't do unless you had some experienced engineer there to help you get the right sounds, but also it's a great way to explore new territory and feel that growth of like going to samples and sounds and things that you wouldn't normally do or have access to, just to have fun and experiment. But there's so many great sounds in here. If you clicked on that Instagram link, you'll also see some experimenting. I've been on a different post with some tape loops, and I made this like 60s space sounding thing with sounds out of BandLab and sounds I was making with tape loops at home, and it's just become an amazing creation tool to help you make those sounds a reality that you have in your head. Auto pitch, it's an amazing tool. Uh, that song that I was talking about, the pop song I wrote and recorded, it really leaned heavily on the harmony version of the the auto tune and auto pitch, I should say, and it really created this vocal stack that I wouldn't have been able to do myself. Really cool tool. The mastering tool inside there. Um, will really help you finish your tracks off and give them that professional touch. Uh, Having spent many years working in distribution, I can tell you that so many artists skip this step. They get their mixes done and they think, oh, that's all I need. But they don't go the extra step and master their track. If you're not familiar with mastering, it really just balances the levels out, the sound, the EQing. So it really rides in with other tracks nicely and sounds professional. And this tool is free and it's amazing. In fact, I'm here in Atlanta, like I said. Our lead singer, his daughter just dropped a track that came out today, and they're having a little celebration tonight. It's going to be fun. And she used the mastering tool, and they were just raving about it. There's multiple options. The one they used was the tape option, which when you get in there and use the tool, you'll see what I'm talking about. There's different styles, and it's really great. Splitter has become my practice go-to. I've been using Splitter almost on a daily basis to practice, to prepare for shows, to just improve my skills. Splitter is one of those things where my brain can't figure out how it works, but it just does. You upload a track. So for me, we did some shows back in December, and we were playing some songs that we hadn't played in a while. So I uploaded those tracks to Splitter. And what Splitter does is it will make 4 stems. It'll be the drums, the bass, the vocal, and then everything else. So the guitars and keys end up being together. And then you can balance the levels. You can mute stuff. So I muted all the guitar tracks, and then I was able to play along with the band and just hear my guitar that I was playing live with everything else. So super easy to do that. And it's fun to remix and hear your songs in different ways. But then the other thing that I've been using it a lot for is to learn new music. And you can take like a guitar solo and you can slow it way down and you can loop it in just a section until you get it just right. And then you can start speeding it up. And that's what I've been doing to try and improve some of my guitar playing abilities, learn some solos and things that I wouldn't normally do in the bands I play in, but I want to get better. So I've been using this to really dial that in, and it's been a lot of fun. The social element on BandLab is key as well. That's where you can really connect with other people and start building that network. There's so many music producers on BandLab, people that are sharing tracks, and it's a great way to learn from each other. It's a great way to build an audience. It's a great way to really grow your recording skills and your songwriting skills by collaborating with folks. And one of the things that you can do on BandLab Social, this is a really cool feature. Uh, it's called forking. And so when you make a song in BandLab, you publish it to your profile. You have the option to make it forkable. Um, the last time I was in a live presentation and said that word, everyone started laughing. Everybody thought it was hilarious that we called it forking. But what it does is that anyone who sees this come down my feed, who follows me, they can push that fork button and it instantly loads all my tracks into a session that they then can build something new on top of my song. So instead of it being collaborative, like there's collaborative options inside of BandLab where multiple people can be working on the same session, which is great. My band's based in Atlanta. I live in Portland. We all can work on something from different locations in the same session. This allows somebody to create something completely new uh, and off of your tracks. And it's really cool. I've been going down, finding things in BandLab and clicking the forking button just so I could look at their tracks and understand how they did what they did and understand their recording process, their songwriting process, their production process. And then if I wanted to, I can create something brand new on top of it. Really cool feature that I love on the platform. So I'm going to talk a little bit about growing an audience, and then we should have enough time for uh, some questions. So there's a tool inside BandLab called FanReach, and it's a messaging tool, allows you to message anyone who follows you on BandLab. And I think one of the cool strategies around using a tool like this on BandLab is to really provide that insider exclusive experience. This is like your your tribe of people that that really dig what you do, and it's not just necessarily from a fan perspective. It might be from, hey, I'm a fellow artist. I like what you do, and I just want to be in the mix and be connected to you and understand what you're doing. Um, so I think you can look at this as like email and how you blast out on email, and you can blast messages out to people. But I think really the strategy here is to build that tight knit community of people that are all into something similar. They may be fans of your music, but maybe they're just fans of music production in general and the type of music you do. And this is a really cool way to build that connection and create that insider experience. Another cool thing inside the app is what we call opportunities. And this is just a running constantly, there's always new ones popping in every day. Opportunities where you can tap into industry access or get featured, whether it's on a big publication or influencer, like an Instagram influencer's feed. We're constantly looking for these opportunities of where can we help our artists find an audience, build their reach, get them some publicity, and help them do something to get their music further than they can do on their own. So when you get inside of there, you can look through all the current opportunities. Some of them might be, hey, this label's looking for these kind of artists, this booking agent is looking for these kind of artists, or uh, like this artist here, her name is Sofia Castillo. She submitted to be considered for the opportunity to be featured by NME magazine. I'm not sure if you're familiar with NME magazine. It's like the Rolling Stone out of the UK. It's much better than Rolling Stone, in my opinion. Very cool magazine. You can find it online, nmemagazine.com, I believe is the website. But high profile magazine. This is a big, big placement. So they submitted this opportunity. Artists could apply, and they selected Sophia. And so for her, it was a huge, huge feature. And all she had to do was go to the opportunities inside of BandLab and submit her music. So that's in there as well. One of the other things that we just launched recently is distribution. So if you're making a track, you can distribute it through BandLab. And I think what's cool about what we're doing is, as far as I know, and I'm pretty sure this is the case, BandLab is the only place you can write, record, mix, master, collaborate with other people, and release your music all in one place, all from your phone. no matter where you are in the world. And that's pretty powerful and pretty exciting, in my opinion. And so we just launched this distribution piece a few months back, and I'm excited to see what artists do and what they put out to the world. So um, I think, yeah, we think we've got about 8 minutes or so for questions. Is any questions about that I can help answer about BandLab, about using the platform, about a certain feature, or what you can do with it, about developing yourself? I'm looking through. Uh, Here's a question: how do you generate? Let's see. I don't think I can make this question go on screen. How do you generate revenue at BandLab? Is from Torin. Uh, Well, good question. There's several ways. The main way is through like distributing your music. Music distribution. We don't take any cut of the back end, so you can put your song out there and you make all the money. That's going to be the main way to make money from the platform. Um, so many artists, though, not thinking about directly from the platform. So many artists, this is where they've been able to connect with collaborators, find music producing gigs. Um, and if you're an artist that makes a lot of beats and is really accomplished at beat making, we do have a program where we work with artists to create sample packs and such. But distribution is the main revenue stream from BandLab at this point. Let's see. I'm looking at the questions here. Oh, somebody asked. I think they mean how does BandLab make money? We do have a membership option that gives you some extended features, so you can definitely check that out when you're in there. So there's most of the features that you've seen today are completely free. There's a few of them like distribution that are membership options as well. So definitely check that out. And yeah, most of the tools are free. We've wanted to make it accessible for people. I think one of the cool things about BandLab um, is that people all over the world, people that may not have access to recording studios, to a lot of modern technology, most people around the world still have smartphones and are able to, with BandLab, write, record, create, and distribute music no matter where they're at. And there's some amazing stuff coming from all over the world. If you've been uh, reading any of the music press or just paying attention to a lot of the music that's surfacing up, music from outside the Western world is really on the rise. Lots of music from Latin America is climbing the charts. Uh, Other music from around the world is really starting to take off. So I think that's one of the great things about BandLab and being able to help facilitate this creation from artists all over. Let's see. I'm looking at the comments. The question is it possible to just distribute, meaning that they don't have to make the song in BandLab? Absolutely. You can just distribute a track that you already have. It doesn't have to be made with BandLab. So you can distribute any track that you have. Right now, we don't do cover song distribution. So anything that you distribute needs to be an original track. But that's what a lot of people are doing. Most people are doing it at BandLab. Let's see. Trying to see. There's a lot of comments. I see lots of people that have checked out BandLab for the first time. That's awesome. If you want to collaborate with me, my username on BandLab is at KBruner, the letter K for my first name and my last name, BREUNER. I'm on there, and you can follow me. Let me know you saw this session, and we can keep the creative conversation going there. Let's see. I'm trying to see. Okay, there's a good question from Malia. What are the main differences between the BandLab app versus the desktop version? They're almost identical. Almost everything that you can do on the app, you can do in the browser. There's a few differences though. Uh, in the browser, there's a few more recording functions that don't exist in the app. And in the app, there's a few things that you can do that are really tailored for the app experience. Song Splitter is one of them. It's available in the browser, but it actually works much better in the app. I think the functionality that I've been using to rehearse and practice and such works better inside the app platform compared to the browser. The functionality, it just has more functionality. It works just fine in the browser. There's just more functionality in the app. So you might find a few things like that where um, there's more features in the browser version. On the recording side, some of it that you can do in the browser, it's just hard to do on a phone in that format, small screen, and you're going to want the browser for that. Some of those pieces anyway. Let's see. Joe saying he really likes this. And then he just started recording in 2020. Awesome. Yeah, the thing I like about BandLab is that it's really easy to use and it's easy to get right to creating your idea. Um, we're downstairs, we're recording right now and we're using Pro Tools. And uh, every time we get to this point, I open Pro Tools and my head wants to explode with feeling like I'm first got to update everything because it's all outdated or whatever. Then it's like figuring everything out, and it feels like it's hours before we're actually making music. I love BandLab because you open it up and it's so intuitive, and it feels like you just get to making music. The sound that you've got in your head, it's easy to start realizing that artistic vision quickly. Using BandLab sounds, you can find the beats from rock to lo-fi to hip-hop to whatever you want all across the board country. um, it's easy to start getting those sounds, dropping them in. You can play your instruments in there, or you can use virtual instruments that are inside BandLab. It's just so easy to just start creating and getting it to sound good. The effects inside of BandLab are just top notch. It just blows me away every time I'm using it. Like, this just sounds so good. Like, how is it this easy that I sound this good? Question: can you upload audio files into a track through the app? Yes, yes. There's a button you push that it'll need to be on your phone. But if you've got the like, say you've got a bass line or a stereo drum file that you want on your app, you can just upload it. Yes, you can upload it right in. It doesn't have to be created inside the app. So you can have some tracks you did maybe at a studio or somewhere else, or a different program on your computer. As long as you have that WAV file, you can just pull it in. Let's see. Probably have time for, oh, there's one on the screen. What are your opinions on the balance between accessibility of the music production tools and usage of AI in mixing and master versus going to professional mix master engineers? That's a good question. Very hot topic for these days. At base level, this is my thought on to really answer your question kind of in reverse. The end goal as an artist, in my opinion, is like, how can I get the best sounding track possible? And we're always balancing it with, we never have enough money for what we want to do. And I think what's really cool about some of the tools that are emerging is they help bridge that gap for artists. I don't think that humans are going to go away in the recording process, because at the end of the day, it's humans that are listening to music. So it's probably good to have humans helping along the way, figuring out what sounds good and what doesn't. But there's a lot of amazing tools, and some of the tools that we've built into BandLab that really help the process get going. One of the things I liked about Song Starter is it eliminates the whole blank page syndrome, where it's like, man, I know I want to be doing something, writing and recording, but where do I start? It's like, boom, this AI tool gives you a starting point. So you can get into the creation process and not be stuck. But as far as like mixing and mastering, I haven't seen any AI mixing tools that's that are out there that I would say does the job. But I think again, it's always that balance of, as an artist, the ultimate goal is to have a great sounding track that people want to listen to over and over again, that they want to follow your music, that they want to become fans of what you're doing, and it's something that you're satisfied with. How we get there, there can be multiple paths. I don't think there's always a one size fits all.
All right. I'm glad we had tons of questions here. Thank you so much, Kevin. Love the platform. Love all different offerings. For those that are working on the artist project, I should add that BandLab also has a marketing tool called FanReach that is really quite cool that you should check out as well. And BandLab will be part of the Networking Expo tomorrow. So you'll be able to chat with a few members of the team if you want to talk about artist development, or you want to talk about using the platform to make music, or anything in between. So with that, Kevin, thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
And sorry about the technical difficulties with the music, but I think everyone got very excited and still checked it out anyway. So I think it's all right.
It looked like a few people saw it on Instagram. So yeah, check it out.
Thank you so much,
All
you
right.
guys. Have a great day, Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you.